how could we take advantage of Mike Van Diest? How could we gain some more of his wisdom? And so this is the thought that I had. Mike has won 6 national championships. There's hardly many head coaches that have done that. But you've even been, you lost 1 or 2?
I lost 2 of them, yeah.
So he lost 2. So he's been in a situation where 8 times he had a team ready to go to the national championship. You now are his team. And I can't imagine what it would be like to be the level of focus. I can't even imagine. I haven't even been anywhere near that. But I'm going to just say, Mike's now your coach. This is your last practice going into the national championship game. Mike, what are you going to tell your team?
Well, it's great right now because we have the perfect number here. There's 11 of you. That's what we play with in football. So this is good numbers. We're right on track. I was not very good on game day for speeches. To me, game day was for the players. We gave instructions. We had the time on the grease board when they go out and stretch, what group goes out, what time is kickoff, that type of thing. The night before was I felt was really the night when I really like to visit with the team. And we don't have the time here to do it because I would take about an hour the night before the championship game on Friday night, with just me and the team. The assistant coach who had their meetings, we had our team, offense, defense, special team, and then the other assistant coach would leave, go do some of the things they had to do to get ready for Saturday morning. And I would stay with the team. And really what we focused on was each player. I went around to each player every single year and talked about how they got to Carroll College and why they came. And it was, whether it was a freshman coming in, whether it was a transfer. And in 2002, we had one player, Nick Preeny from Capitol High. That was a holdover of Coach Petrino's years. He was the only player at that time. And what I really tried to impart upon them is that you're here for a reason. It wasn't by chance. It wasn't a coincidence that they came together. There was something that brought them there, and what was it? And I went around to the room and talked to each player, and I talked to them, and I let everybody know about each player. Because even though they're a team, some of them didn't know the backgrounds of the other players in the room. And I thought it was important that they understood who their teammates were. There's a word that a lot of people use, and I think right now it gets overused a lot, and that's called brotherhood. I think people use it because it's kind of a buzzword. But back then in 2002, it was really a word that we use a lot because it was true in terms of who they knew the player next to him was. It wasn't just the left guard knowing who the left tackle was. It wasn't the center and then the quarterback knowing in their relationship, or the defensive backs working with the defensive line and pass rush. They had to know who every player was. And every player on that team had a job and a responsibility, because the hardest thing about football, two things about football is really hard. You practice 7 times more than you actually perform in a game. Basketball, you play 2 or 3 games a week. Soccer plays a couple games every week. Football, if you're lucky, you may play 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 games. But you practice 7 times more than that just to get that one payday. And so we came together on Friday night down in Tennessee for that first national championship in 2002. I just went around and I said, there's a reason why each one of you came here. What is it? Why did you come to Carroll College? Y'all had different options. Y'all have different choices. We talk about choices. Everybody has a choice, but if every choice has a consequence. Some consequences are bad because some choices are bad. A lot of these guys, hopefully they came here because the choices they made were good. So for me, it was letting these guys know how much I appreciated the hard work that they went through. From 5:55 a.m. workouts in the off season, in January, February, March, and April, to the summer program, to spring football, to two-a-days that nobody likes. Two-a-days aren't fun. Coaches are growly. We don't get any sleep. We're not much fun to be around at that time. But here we are, a culmination of all these months, all these weeks, all these hours, and you have one chance to go out there one last time. And that was it. The biggest thing I tried to really talk to them about is no matter what goes on the day after tomorrow, tomorrow is the last time this group will ever do anything together as a unit. It's the last time. Seniors will graduate. Some players may not come back to the program, may transfer out, may get hurt. Coaches may leave. But you will never, ever come together in a group again with this much at stake and a word that nobody ever associates with me, as I talked about, You'll never come together again with this much people for one common goal, and that's to love each other. And that was the common theme. It wasn't anything magical. It wasn't about X's and O's. It was about relationships and about how much they depended on each other. And as coaches, as the head coach, especially how much I appreciate all the things that they went through. And I don't believe it's sacrifice. I don't believe it's a sacrifice for you to be here. I'll be honest with you. People, there's single mothers that work 2 or 3 jobs, sacrifice for their children. My mom was a waitress making $1.20 an hour at the Four B's Cafe in Last Chance College. That was a sacrifice for her to be able to put me through to a Catholic school and allow me to go to college. Those are sacrifices. What athletes do, what you're doing, this isn't a sacrifice. It's time, but that's all it is time. It's just time. And for our players, it wasn't a sacrifice to be there, it was a choice. And for you, that's what's great about this. You look around, there's 11 of you, it's a choice to be here and make the most of it. And each day when we were at practice, every day we played, that was our championship game. All this was game 15 of our season. But every time we went out, it was a championship effort. And that's what it required for us to get to that point. And our athletes understood that because, again, when you're practicing 7 times more than you actually get to perform, that's hard. Football is a tough sport. It's the ultimate team sport. No offense to soccer, basketball, but football is the ultimate team sport because like you, there's 11 different individuals, there's different heights, different weights, different socioeconomic backgrounds, different religions, different races, and you're all coming for one common goal. And I think what's important for you here for 11, even though you have individual reasons why you're here, help and push each other. Be positive towards each other. Help each other out. There's going to be days you don't feel good, and you know what? You got to work through it. There's going to be days you come down, it's snowing outside like now. You still got to get up and come down here late in the afternoon, after a job, after class, whatever it is. Do what you need to do and perform the best. And like I said, there's no magic words because I never believed. There was one thing a coach told me one time, and I just absolutely abhorred it. He said on Thursdays during the week we're getting ready when I was in college and get ready to play Saturday, he says, okay guys, after practice, the hay's in the barn. I never believed that. The hay's never in the barn. We coach right up until the last minute. You prepare mentally and physically up until the last minute. And when that gun goes off to start the race, to start the game, whatever it may be, now it's your race, it's your game. And as coaches, we can help manage that for you. But at the end of the day, this is your class, this is your game. You enjoy it and get the most out of it. And come every day with a good attitude. Because that's the one thing you can control, is your attitude. Don't let somebody else control your attitude, okay? Control your attitude. And that's where I always thought our teams that were very well prepared is that their attitude was awesome. They didn't let the other team determine their attitude. The first 5 minutes of the game, everybody's testosterone's out there at 110% level and everybody's going fire to the wall and that type of thing. You control your own attitude. Don't let the person across from you control your own attitude. Don't let them do what you need to take care of because you're the one that invested in it. And somebody else shouldn't take away what you want to do. Whatever the reason why you're here, that's great. Continue to keep that same attitude every time you come here. And then do some of the things that Sydney and Matthew talked about early in the morning, going to bed late at night. Because that's the thing what nobody else sees, right? We all see you here, do what you do. What do you do when you're not here? And that's the important thing. So have fun today.